If you're only looking for storage deals on Crexy or LoopNet or relying on brokers to send you the best deals, you're likely missing out on a large majority of the opportunities that exist in the marketplace. Here's the truth. Some of the best mom and pop storage facilities are hiding in places most investors are not going to bother to check, but because you are plugged in here, you're going to be the first to know. Now, some of these facilities could be buried in Facebook Marketplace, lost on page 7 of Google, or incorrectly listed on the MLS by a residential agent who doesn't even understand the asset. This is part 4 of a 6-part series on the 16 ways to find off-market storage deals. My name is Alex Pardo, and by now, we've already covered 9 proven strategies, from the rent gap sniper method, Google Maps, to direct mail, referrals, networking, working with wholesalers. And today I'm going to share 3 of the most uncommon, overlooked sources, yet highly effective strategies, plus specific steps that you can take right now to start finding deals in your market or whatever market you're focused on. And remember, the goal is not to master all 16 strategies. It's to pick 1 or 2, commit, and execute consistently, day in, day out, week in, week out. That's how our Storage Wins coaching clients and our community members are buying their first facilities within 6 to 12 months. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the next strategy. Okay, I believe this is strategy number 10, I believe it is. Facebook Marketplace. Now, it's not what you're thinking. I'm not talking about storage Facebook groups. I'm actually talking about Facebook Marketplace. Now, here's what you're going to do. Type in the city, go to Facebook Marketplace. Obviously, go to facebook.com, find Facebook Marketplace. It's that little icon that looks like a marketplace. And you're going to type in whatever city you might be interested in owning and operating storage. And then here's what you're going to do. You're going to type in the word storage or storage unit plus the city state. Okay, so you can start by either just doing the city state and then type in storage unit. What I like to do is search for storage unit plus city state. And you're likely not going to find storage facilities listed for sale on Facebook Marketplace. However, here is what you're likely to find. You're likely to find mom and pop storage owners who are advertising units for rent at the facility that they own. Oftentimes, these ads include their direct phone number, generic email addresses like @gmail.com, @Yahoo, sloppy looking pictures. And what I like to do is just send them a DM, send them a direct casual message. Hi, I saw your post for units at this particular facility, ABC Mini. I'm actually looking to buy in this area. By any chance, would you consider an offer for your facility? I love to use the word consider because to me, it opens up the possibility for further conversation. And then follow up with a phone number and your email address, because you have to understand that a lot of people probably don't want to pick up the phone and talk to you. But if you send an email, it's non-threatening. So it gives them an option to reach out to you. Sometimes I even mention you can call or text at this number, or if email works best for you, here is my email address. Understand that many mom and pop storage owners don't have modern marketing. Instead of a website, they post units for rent on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes they do have a website and they still post units for rent on Facebook Marketplace. Often it's the owner themselves doing the posting, or their spouse, could be an office manager. And that means usually direct access to the decision maker. So here are some pro tips. Be careful with Facebook. Do not spam. You don't want to be sending out, 30, 40, 50 of these messages a day. I think you're safe if you do this and you send 5 to 10 messages a day safely without triggering like Facebook's filters. You might want to run your message through AI like ChatGPT or Grok, have it give you like 3 to 5 different versions of that message, and then alternate that every other message. You could potentially even have a virtual assistant doing this for you. But again, be careful, follow Facebook's rules. You don't want to risk losing your Facebook account. Be careful if a VA is in another country logging into your account because of the IPs. That could trigger some issues with Facebook. So again, be careful, do everything on the up and up. Don't overdo this strategy. A handful of messages a day, 5 to 10 at most, and I think you're probably in the safe zone. Track all responses on a simple Google spreadsheet or a CRM. And even if they're not interested, always ask, hey, do you know anybody that owns a storage facility and might consider selling or might consider an offer? The old adage of birds of a feather flock together is so true. Storage owners know other storage owners. So ask the question. You never know. We've generated a lot of leads doing that. I have one particular client who I'm thinking of that this is one of her main strategies, and she generates a lot of leads by just every day going into Facebook Marketplace, into different markets, sending out messages. And again, not always are they going to respond back. Not always are they going to respond back with, hey, I'm interested, but sometimes they will. Okay. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, super simple, direct strategy you can leverage. Now, moving on to the next one, the MLS. My real estate investors listening to the show in the single family space are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. The multiple listing service. Now, you might be thinking to yourself and asking, Alex, why in the world are we talking about the MLS on a storage podcast? And it's a great question. Sometimes real estate agents will incorrectly list a storage facility on the MLS. Now, if you know anything about the MLS, it is for single family homes, in some cases for land, for duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. It's not for commercial properties. So what does that tell you if a real estate agent lists a storage facility on the MLS? It likely means they don't know a lot about that asset class, and that could represent an opportunity. Oftentimes, I have found this in small town agents that don't understand that they have to list those facilities on LoopNet or Crexy. And so whenever I see a storage facility listed on the residential MLS instead of CoStar, LoopNet, Crexy, my antennas automatically go up. I pick up the phone and I call the agent. Okay. And that also tells me that the owner didn't know to hire somebody that specializes in storage, a commercial broker, or specifically a storage broker. So here are some actionable steps in your target markets. Set up MLS keyword alerts. Okay. And if you're not an agent in these markets, befriend one, right? Get creative. Figure out somebody who has access to the MLS in the markets where you like to buy. Set up keyword alerts like storage, mini storage, warehouse, mini warehouse. Anything like that is going to work for you. Connect with these local residential agents. Ask if they've ever come across storage or weird commercial listings, and let them know that you are a buyer and you're active. If you see a facility, call the agent directly and just, hey, listen, I specialize in buying storage facilities and storage units. If you ever come across a facility on the MLS or maybe one locally where you live, I'd love to learn more about it and see if we can make a deal and help each other's businesses grow. So as always, build relationships with these agents. They're thrilled to move a property that they don't really know how to price. And that's, generally speaking, that's not their bread and butter. That's not in their wheelhouse. So just plant the seed, drop the breadcrumb. Hey, next time you come across a storage facility, can I be your first call? Many times sellers will take less because they've been sitting on this thing on the MLS for months without offers. Why? Because storage facility doesn't belong on the MLS. It belongs on Crexy and LoopNet. This business is wild. It never ceases to amaze me. So anyway, I want you to go ahead and leverage that. Just keep an eye out. Set up some keywords. It's kind of a set it and forget it approach. Plant some seeds, drop some nuggets with some agents you know, and you'll thank me later and you'll smile whenever you get that random phone call. Or now your reticular activating system, your RAS is kicked in, and you're going to be looking out for storage facilities on the MLS. And then the last strategy that I want to cover on the fourth part of this 6-part series is just a simple Google search. But here's the kicker. You're not going to be looking on the first or second page of Google. You want to go deep into Google. I'm talking page 5, page 6, page 7. And keep an eye out for the mom and pop owners that list with small local realty companies that don't optimize in SEO. They're not very well known, maybe just locally. Think of like Mary Joanne Realty. Like that's what you're looking for. You want facilities that are being listed by these tiny little brokerage houses, right? They're not being listed by Marcus and Millichap, by Argus, by all these big players, Lindsay Self Storage. You're looking for the tiny little realtor's office that might have less than 10 agents, but they happen to get their hands on a storage listing. So Google storage for sale in your target market, city, state, or mini storage realty in your state, mini warehouse realty, things like that, like keywords that you might not commonly associate with. And what I want you to do, go deep into Google, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8. Look for the old school realtor sites, ugly sites. Sometimes you'll come across one and you call them and it's like an old listing. Plant the seed with them anyway. Let them know that you're an active storage investor and that you will happily pay them a commission if they can bring you deals. Call the brokers and you could say, hey, Mr. Broker or Mrs. Broker, I saw your listing for ABC mini storage. Listen, I specialize in buying storage facilities. And sometimes I even use the word storage units because for some reason, like that's what people think they are, storage units, not the actual storage facility. And I'll say, hey, has this been marketed broadly or are you just doing this locally? And so I'll just have a conversation. I'll ask more questions. I'll shut up. I'll let them speak. And even if that listing doesn't fit, ask them, do you know any mom and pop owners looking to sell their storage facility? Give them a reason. Make sure it's benefit driven. What is in it for them? Let them know that you'll pay them a fee. You'll pay their commission happily if you end up buying the facility. And then you just bake it and work it into the numbers. So a couple pro tips. Use multiple variations. Like I said, mini storage for sale, mini warehouse for sale in small town, mini storage realty. Like experiment. Run it through ChatGPT. Have it come up with 10 different variations. Let ChatGPT or Grok know what your goal and your outcome is. Provide some context and you'll get better output from these AI systems, okay? And then, by the way, do this once or twice and then kick this off to a virtual assistant. Let them scan these, the different sites on Google and do these searches on a weekly basis. Have them capture screenshots, start to build a pipeline, put all the information into a Google spreadsheet. And these are the types of kind of out of the box strategies that a lot of people either don't know or haven't really thought of, right? Eventually, I haven't gotten there, but eventually I'm going to crack this nut when it comes to searching for storage deals, leveraging AI. Heck, for all I know, it's probably possible, and I just haven't really spent much time trying. So gives me an idea. I'm going to circle back to that on a future episode, okay? So with that being said, I want to recap today's strategies. Facebook Marketplace, direct message them because you're probably reaching the owner, the spouse, or an office manager. Keep an eye on the MLS, set up some keywords, have other agents set up keywords for you. Give them a reason to want to send you these opportunities. Do a simple Google search, go deep into Google. And look, these aren't like sexy strategies, but every now and then you got some bait in the water and you never know when a fish bites and when you're going to land one. So these are all very simple, free strategies that you guys can tap into to connect with more mom and pop storage owners and possibly do more deals. So look, this is just scratching the surface of what we cover inside of Storage Wins, our community where we are dedicated and focused on helping people buy their very first storage facility, regardless of their experience, regardless of their situation with money or capital. And these are just some of the strategies that they're implementing. So they're leveraging VAs to do a lot of this deep work. Others are building referral systems and pipelines. And stick around because I have, 3 to 6 more strategies to share with you. I lost count at the moment. But here's the difference. These all work, but it's all about consistency. That's where we hold them accountable. And so you need to hold yourself accountable if you're not surrounded with a community and a group of like-minded people that are there to support you, pour into you, answer your questions, help you design a plan, give you the tools and resources, the support, the guidance, the coaching, the mentoring that's needed in order to build a successful storage business. So if that's you, if you're serious about buying your first facility within the next 6 months, I'd love to have a conversation and see how or if I could help. Head over to storagewins.com, schedule a free 10-minute discovery call. And on that call, we'll talk about where you're at, where you want to go, and just see if our coaching community is the right fit. And don't forget, make sure that you're subscribed to the Storage Wins podcast on the YouTube channel because every single week I'm going to be sharing proven strategies and real stories to help you find, fund, and buy your very first storage facility or your next storage deal. So with that being said, my name is Alex Pardo. Thank you for joining me on this ride. It's been a fun one, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next one. God bless.